Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. It's Justin Icino from Fish Guy Philosophies. People know me as Justin the Fish Guy. I'm just unpacking my stuff from a tournament that I fished this weekend, a local tournament here in San Diego. It's called the Paul Leader Memorial Tournament. And I'm getting old. It was obvious from the start on this one because I was fishing with three other friends that were fishing in the tournament, and we had different teams. And gosh, I've known these guys for over 20 years now, all of them. And I've been fishing in these local club tournaments for over 15 years now. And I know that because my daughter's going to be 15. And I got to say, I was really looking forward to this tournament more than any of the others in the past because despite the fact I don't like most of the semi pro, wannabe pro, glitter boat bass guys, I appreciate what they're trying to do now more than I used to. I grew up working on saltwater fishing boats, and that's where my friends all come from. And we started fishing these tournaments because John Cassidy over at Anglers Arsenal was, running them. And he was a great guy with his radio show, and he was promoting our businesses. And we all bass fished for fun. We were always in the shop. And so, we decided to fish these tournaments a long time ago. And now that's all we do. And there's a lot less of the old guys, including Paul Leader, who I knew personally from when I was about 10 years old. He used to do business with my dad. So, truth is that it was never about the money, and it was always about fishing with friends. And some of your friends, they always have this big game. They walk around with that big dick attitude, like they got it all. But when they actually need them to go catch a fish by themselves, they really struggle. Other guys, they're super humble, and you never see it coming. And then over time, you would learn to expect it. And so there's no easy way to be determined a good fisherman or a bad fisherman because luck at the end of the day really makes up the difference. And you're lucky if you have some good friends that you want to fish against, because that makes life worthwhile in a lot of ways. It makes putting up with our wives and our children and our dogs and our jobs and all the other things in life, it puts all that into perspective. Because on the water, you're going to be measured against other men there that day doing the same thing. Some women also. Oh, I promise you, there's some women in the bass fishing world. One of them, Victoria, who really helps everybody out, I give her an honorable mention because just her presence alone seems to keep the men acting like men. Because I've been at these tournaments when there's no actual females around. Oh, you find out which one of those guys are, Anyways, point being is that all I wanted to do was beat my friends and make sure that I had a good time. And the first day of the tournament, we failed so miserably. There should have been no hope. But after day one at San Vicente, it was pretty obvious that we weren't going to win. We literally didn't catch a limit, and we're in dead last place. Meanwhile, my other two friends fishing in the other group over at El Cap, they were in the middle of the pack, which was, they were. The problem with this 2-day tournament is that you can finish in the top 10 2 days in a row and not get a check. It's a point structure thing, and it pays down based on the amount of participants. So although it's a big cash prize that the sponsor, Elko and Ford, kicks in, I assume that. I don't know. All I know is it's 10 grand guaranteed, and Elko and Ford sponsors all of these tournaments. And I assume that they really work hard to keep it profitable for both. So Paul Leader wasn't a guy that was really tight with money, but he was also a guy that knew how to make money because he worked with his friends, and his handshake meant a lot. So that's really the neat part about this tournament is there's this old school culture in it, and this thing of respect. And so the first day of the tournament at San V, when I saw a kid I used to fish against when he was literally just got his driver's license, And he was always a cool kid, really, for the most part. I mean, kids can be annoying, but the fact is we saw him fishing on the spot we wanted to fish the first day, and we kind of knew how that spot set up. And out of pure respect, we drove around him and gave him the whole thing. And wouldn't you know, he went on to win the tournament at San Vicente day one. So it was bittersweet because he was fishing the same area, so to speak. He was on the same fish. There was no fish there. It was miserable fishing. So when we go into day two, we had an idea what happened the day before, but it sounded like the area was spread out with moving fish. So, we had to swing for the fences. And I know this particular area of the lake really well. I've done well there in the past. And, we had to get in there and hunt around, but we were the third boat out. So that same guy that we gave respect to the day before, I'm sure he had the same information. He came into the area and he did a little pump fake like he was going to come in, and he gave us our space. And all of the fishing was over at 8:30. So it really was, we had room to move around first thing in the morning and find the little corner edge of what was left. And the actual fishing was kind of boring. You didn't get a lot of bites. We were fishing reaction baits, and we were not getting real good results. But there was so many busters and so much fish racing around. Then we started getting bites on the Carolina rig and on the drop shot. But it wasn't dragging. It was like bomb cast. You'd cast all the way out, put it in gear, it hit the bottom, you'd wait a second, and if you didn't get a bite, you could pretty much wind it in because they weren't on the bottom. They were just roaming around, and they just weren't in a fast chase mode because the lake was trying to roll over, fall transition garbage. Anyways, we had a little flurry and had a limit in the boat, and from there it got slow. And the actual kicker fish was a really neat catch. My partner, he actually hooked a 3-pounder, and when I saw it jump, I made a cast right in the area where it jumped as I stood by with the net. And so his fish comes to net, I set my rod down, I reach over, I net his fish. I got the fish in the net in one hand, my rod in the other. I feel the bite, I set the hook, and I hand the rod to my friend. And I say, go ahead, bro, wind that in, as I unhook the other fish. Set that fish down by the live well, and here comes our 4-pounder over the rail. So on day 2, we won first place. Now remember, it's not about the money for us because we're broke. So that's like, you're just gonna get lucky. If you have enough money to fish these tournaments, you need to have reasons to do it. Don't try to get rich fishing tournaments. That's not the thing. Our goal is always to make money and break even and not lose. But always beat your friends. Don't worry about the other guys on the water. You meet a lot of guys in bass fishing that have this weird ego, and in a tournament, that ego can be really annoying. But you should respect it. It's who they are. I've watched kids grow and mature, and the truth is douchebags kind of start out douchebags and stay that way. Good kids, they grow into good men. And I think we make good kids by teaching them how to compete fairly and with honor and respect. So in this tournament, that's what was the coolest part, was actually not having anything but love and respect with all of the other boats. I didn't see anybody get upset at anybody, nobody yelling, nobody fighting over a spot. Of course, then again, I only ran into a handful of boats on the tournament, and I generally have always liked those guys. So what was neat is that at the very, very end, we ended up beating our friends. Now, it was perfect because one of my other groups, they ended up almost getting their money back. They got half their money back on a lucky draw, but they actually finished higher. They got 13th place, and it's something like that, mid-pack. And the other team, the ones that really had the ego day one, they repeated our performance. Now, technically, they caught more weight at San V, but the truth is, I think they caught more weight total. Somehow, some way, the points worked so that we finished 20th place, and we had the heaviest stringer and big bass at El Cap. So we got our money back, plus everybody over there at East County's, goodie bag. But what's really cool is this. It's rare. It's rare to bring home a trophy that you're really proud of. But this trophy here, yeah, this is what I'm most proud of. Not the stupid medal. Maybe the cross. The me. See, you gotta know how to lose with grace. Stand up and fight with courage right afterwards. And the sooner you recover from losing a big fish, a wife, maybe a giant stupid bluefin caught on a popper, as soon as you get over losing what you thought was important, you might actually find some trophies. And I promise you'll give them away. You won't care about the money, you won't care about the trophies. Because it's the experience, it's the memories, not that you have alone, but those that you create in others, especially your friends. So I'm lucky because as I'm putting away all my fishing crap, I realized that somewhere along the way I put together a good group of friends. And we just so happen to like to bass fish. So I encourage you, if you've never fished a tournament, to go to your local tackle store, find what tournament they recommend for you or how to get you into it. Put yourself on the line. Don't just go fishing. You'll never know how you measure up. You'll never know if you were the best that day or the worst that day. And you know what? That'll help you grow as an individual. And you'll learn a lot of people aren't really as good as they say. This is Justin Icino with Fish Guy Philosophies and Fish Just In. Technically, I want to thank my sponsors for all of this that make it possible. We do have Hayworth Fishing. Gave me the day off. It's giving me something to do every Saturday. That's actually how Cassidy and Gene over at East County, everybody overlaps because the fishing community is small. And the bass fishing community is just one school in it. So thank you for watching my video. I do hope to be able to make more videos with maybe, fishing content or life content. I don't really know. Let me know what you guys want to hear, what you think of the video. And until then, be kind to your women, take care of your responsibilities, and, maybe get to go fishing with your friends if you're lucky. Thank you.